We got everything ready before the Sabbath night fell, the crushed spices still under my nails, and the smell of the aloes and myrrh was like sleep in the air. Nicodemus had done it already, but we wanted to care for the teacher, our friend, and follow where he had been put. How would the stone be rolled? What would we say to the soldiers? But logistics would have to wait, for now the Sabbath rest forbade our steps out of the city gate. Shabbat Shalom, we said, but what peace did we have now that he was dead? I thought about the days and weeks to come, how different they would be now, different patterns and rhythms. I looked ahead, heavy with the knowledge that all of those faded futures would be missing him, and the stillness that came from hearing his words. He was a kind man, the kind of man who spoke and everyone listened. They didn't all hear, but those of us who were near knew there was nothing to fear when he was there. When he was there. That Sabbath rest, that waiting, that darkness felt too much. I was numb and overwhelmed, angry and crushed. I was out of my depth, unable to see how such a man who touched and healed and stilled and raised could be beaten and hated and punished and hazed. How could the King we praised now be a body laid in a rebel's grave, abandoned by those too afraid? I wondered how the one who had hushed the waves and called to the dead could be silent, bound and led to accusations and lies and judgment and that gasping death. Shabbat Shalom, we said, but would we ever know peace again? I wept and waited to go to the tomb, though what we would do after that none of us knew. Back to the grind and the strain and the gloom, so-called rulers and leaders lording it over us, friends and neighbours pressing through sadness. My nose was heavy from crying. My face was cold and sore. But the coming of the dawn and the rising of the sun changed everything. When we got to the open grave, after the ground under our feet had quaked, and we were shown the place he had been laid, our fears, our sorrow, our despair folded away. He is risen, just as he said we were told to say. And as we ran and ran, doubt and fear met belief and faith. My heart was bursting, my breath was stuttering, my legs were running with some new joy. Who would believe us? Did it matter, now that he's destroyed the very deepest of burdens, the very worst of fears, the very hardest of hardships? Now I see that while we wept, he descended. The one who is life and love went to destruction's home, and he emptied death and the depths of all their power and hold. The darkness lost its night when he was there. It dissolved while we despaired. While we were waiting, he was working. We thought his lips were silent, but he was silencing the shadows. Now I see that while we wept, he stepped down to lift us up. And so while you weep, dear friend, while you wait for the end of whatever hurt you are limping with right now, know that it won't last. This brokenness we see as we scroll, the ache we know in our own souls, the terrors that take control, the longings to feel whole are not too strong for him. They're not too loud for him. They're not too far gone for him to reach you. The empty grave proves it. While you are weeping, he is working. Shabbat Shalom, we had said, and now that peace won't ever end.